night, despite record-setting coronavirus infection rates in the state, President Trump chose to hold a packed and nearly maskless rally in freezing temperatures in Nebraska, a state he handedly won in 2016. Let's get into it, shall we? Just like Elton John and Cher, Trump came to Omaha on what might be his farewell tour. The rally was held outside Omaha's Eppley Airfield, which was a bold choice. The weather in Nebraska is so unpredictable that having an event outside in October is as risky as me wearing a regular bra while doing jumping jacks or going to a kegger with a Supreme Court justice. Surprisingly enough, there were temperature checks done before supporters entered the rally, but they were done after most of them had spent up to 2 hours waiting outside in the cold to get in. Checking people's temperatures after they've been standing in the cold? That's like Rose checking in on Jack after being in the water for 2 hours. You know he's not gonna have a fever. During the rally, Trump covered his usual talking points, including calling the Democrats the radical left, while praising Republican leaders in the crowd, including Governor Pete Ricketts, the U.S. governor who looks like a 56-year-old Caillou, and Representative Don Bacon, who is not nearly as delicious as he sounds. President Trump then talked about rounding that beautiful curve on COVID, further proving that he has not once listened to what experts have been saying during the last 7 months. Rounding that beautiful curve? Buddy, we need to be flattening it. I know you know the difference between round and flat. I've heard you talk about women's bodies. Also, rounding that beautiful curve? Gross. I've blocked men on Tinder for less than that. Trump ended his rally by playing the Village People's YMCA, because you know he loves groups that tell you exactly what to do with your arms. But the worst part was yet to come for his supporters, who, after the rally, were left stranded in below freezing temperatures when the buses that had brought them into the rally did not return. When the buses didn't show up, some attendees decided to walk almost 4 miles back to their cars, at which point the Omaha Police Department was called in to assist. As the elderly and children in the crowd began to succumb to hypothermia, 7 people were sent to the hospital, which, to be fair, is the least amount of people Trump has sent to the hospital due to his lack of planning. The Omaha Police Department was left to clean up Trump's mess. Officers were reportedly driving around and picking up people in order to help them find their cars. At first you're like, "Aw, that's nice of them." And then you realize that a Trump rally in Nebraska could also be called a police officer safe space. The lack of planning and follow-through for something associated with Trump isn't surprising at all when you consider Trump Steaks, Trump Airlines, Trump Mortgage, Trump Magazine, Trump University, Trump Ice, Trump Network, and Trump Taj Mahal. But with all that said, we know that nothing this guy does is going to make his supporters not vote for him. Between coronavirus and hypothermia, I'll just be surprised if they all make it to the election. In conclusion, it's time to put yourself on the map, Omaha. Make like last night's rally attendees' fingers and toes and turn blue.